Hello and welcome to my channel Ek Bihari UPSC. Today we are going to have a discussion on the topic Subedar and Subah system. We will see that what is this Subedar. It was a post in the military administrative system of the Mughal administration. We will see it that what is Subedar and what is Subah system. It is a very rare topic which you will find on the internet or on the YouTube. There is very few videos available on YouTube which are on this topic, and even those videos are of less than 2 minutes, 1 minutes. So you will find very less information about this topic on YouTube and even on the internet. When I started my preparation, I also faced problem finding about what is Subedar, what is Mansabdar, and what is Jagirdar. I was very confused between these terms. So now, when I started teaching on YouTube, I thought that I should make a video on this topic. So, though the students who are currently preparing for UPSC exam or who are currently starting their preparation can understand this topic better. So let us understand what is Subedar and what is Subah system and why this system emerged. As we all know that Mughal Empire was a very vast empire. If we talk about the time of Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire was at its largest size during this time. If we see the data, it is said that Mughal Empire was about 122% of the size of today's India. This means that the Mughal Empire was 22% larger than the size of today's India in terms of geographical area. Imagine how tough it would have been to administer such a large empire. Imagine you are the emperor of a very large empire like Mughal Empire, and you are sitting at your capital, and you are living at a time of around 1600, 1700, 1500, that is 16th century, 17th century. You are an emperor of this time of a very large empire of about the size of Mughal Empire. You are sitting at your capital. Now imagine how tough it would be to administer such a vast empire sitting at a capital. It is very tough to maintain the unity and stability of the empire and to keep a watch on each and every corner of the empire. It was also a time when we were not very much technologically advanced as we are currently, and it was also a time when each and every king used to wait for an opportunity to acquire the territory of the other king. As soon as a king became weak, every neighboring kingdom or empire used to start to plan to acquire the territory of the king. So it was a very volatile period, and in such a time period, you are having an empire which is very vast in size, and you are required to maintain control over each and every territory of the empire. Not only the empire was at risk from external enemies, even the empire has to face internal disturbances, and in order to tackle all these problems, it is must that you should have control over each and every corner of the empire. You should have the information about whatever is going in each and every corner of the empire. So in such a scenario, what do you think that you will do? It's possible that you might have a different idea, but the Mughals thought of dividing the empire into a number of provinces, and these provinces were named as Subas. Therefore, Subah system was a system of provincial distribution so that the king can have better control over different parts of the empire. So now think that you have divided the empire into different provinces or different subas, and now you have to appoint someone to look after the administration of that suba. Who you will appoint? You will appoint those persons as the administrator of these subas who are loyal to you and who have excellent military skills, so that in times of war that person can engage in battle on behalf of you in order to safeguard the province or suba. So you will appoint a loyal and a good warrior as the administrator of the Subah, and this administrator was used to be known as Subedar. This means that Subedar was a military administrative post in the Mughal Empire who was given a territory to maintain the administration and security of that territory, and he was also assigned an additional function which was of revenue collection, which was of revenue collection. This means that Subedar also had the responsibility of collecting the revenue from that province and then passing on that revenue to the king. Therefore, we can say that Subah system helped the king to gain better control over each nook and corner of the empire, and it also helped the king to efficiently collect revenue from each and every part of the empire. And the person who was doing all these functions on behalf of the king was known as Subedar. This Subedar was also given a mansab. If you do not understand what is mansab and what was mansabdari system, you can watch my video on this topic on my channel. For now, you can understand that mansab was a military rank. Mansab was a military rank. This means that if the king gave you a mansab of 2000, this means that the king allowed you to have an army of 2000 soldiers along with you. You have to maintain this army on behalf of the king, and you can use this army in case you have a security crisis in your Subah. And the king can even call you with your army if the security crisis is on the whole empire. It must also be noted that Subedar was a non-hereditary post. Subedar was a non-hereditary post. This means that it is not necessary that the son of a Subedar will also become a Subedar. It is the sole discretion of the king whether he or she will become a Subedar or not. However, you should also understand that each and every territory which was under that king or which was under the Mughal Empire in this case, each and every territory was not a Subah. You can understand this by the example of today's India. In today's India, we also have different types of territories, like we have union territories which is directly controlled by the central government. We have states which are controlled by the state governments, and we also have some states which are given some special status, like for example we had Jammu and Kashmir before 2019 which was given a special status. By that status, that state can also have its own constitution. Similarly, in the Mughal administration also, not each state was a Subah. There were some territories which were given special privileges or powers. For example, there were Rajput states inside the Mughal Empire. They were also part of the Mughal Empire. They were also part of the Mughal Empire, but these states used to enjoy greater autonomy. These states acknowledged the sovereignty of the Mughal emperor. They acknowledged that the supreme ruler of the empire is the Mughal emperor, but they were also given more powers and more autonomy when compared with the Subedar of another Subah. So, what special powers they had? For example, the Rajput states used to pay tribute to the Mughal emperor to show that they accepted the suzerainty or sovereignty of the empire. This means that you can understand that they are accepting that the ultimate ruler is the Mughal emperor and they are a part of the empire. However, they are given special powers and privileges by the king or by the emperor. Unlike the Subah, unlike the Subah, which had to transmit the revenue collected from that Subah to the emperor, the Rajput states did not have to transmit the revenue to the emperor. They just paid a part of the revenue, which is called tribute, to the emperor. Also, the head of the Rajput states, that is the king of the Rajput states, was not appointed by the emperor because this post was a hereditary post, and on the other hand, the Subedar, which was the head of a Subah, was a non hereditary post which was used to be appointed by the king. This also means that the son of a Rajput king can also become the king of that Rajput state without the permission of the Mughal emperor. So let us summarize what we understood. We understood that the Mughal Empire was divided into different geographical territories or provinces. Some of these were called Subas, which were administered by the Subedar, who was a non hereditary officer appointed by the king directly on the basis of his loyalty and military skills. He was also given a mansab, and he also used to perform the function of collection of revenue and then transfer that revenue to the king. On the other hand, there were also some states who were semi autonomous states inside the empire who were given greater powers and greater autonomy, but they accepted that they were a part of the empire. However, they also used to have certain privileges given by the king. And we also understood that why this system was introduced by the emperor. हमने ये भी समझा कि इस सिस्टम को एम्परर के द्वारा क्यों इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया, क्योंकि मुगल एम्पायर एक बहुत ही ज़्यादा वास्ट एम्पायर था, बहुत दूर तक फैला हुआ था और अपने कैपिटल से बैठकर एम्परर के लिए एम्पायर के हर एक कोने को कंट्रोल करना काफ़ी ज़्यादा मुश्किल था. Therefore, to have a better control over the empire, the Mughal emperor divided the empire into different सूबास. इसके लिए हम लोग एक एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हैं. मान लो कि एम्पायर के किसी कोने पर दुश्मन देश ने, दुश्मन एम्पायर ने हमला कर दिया. ठीक है, अगर एम्परर अपने एम्पायर को डिफरेंट सूबास में डिवाइड नहीं करता तो जब तक वो अपने आर्मी के साथ एम्पायर के इस कोने पर पहुंचता तब तक हो सकता है कि एनिमी एम्पायर के बहुत सारे हिस्से को अपने कब्जे में ले चुका होता. तो एम्पायर को सूबास में डिवाइड करने का ये फ़ायदा हुआ कि एम्पायर के हर कोने में एम्परर का छोटा सा आर्मी मौजूद है और इस आर्मी को कंट्रोल कर रहा है एम्परर का ही एक लॉयल बंदा, जिसको कि हम लोग सूबेदार के नाम से पुकार रहे हैं. यानी कि ये एक ऐसा समय था जिस समय हम लोग इतना ज़्यादा टेक्नोलॉजिकली एडवांस नहीं थे जितना हम लोग आज है. ऐसा नहीं था आज के जैसा कि अगर एनिमी अटैक कर रहा है तो यहीं से मिसाइल छोड़ा और एनिमी को बर्बाद कर दिया, या फिर सेकेंडों में मिनटों में फाइटर जेट्स वहाँ पहुँच गए, या फिर हमारे पास काफ़ी ज़्यादा अच्छा अब ट्रांसपोर्टेशन फैसिलिटी भी है, रोड्स है, जिसके कारण आर्मी एक जगह से दूसरे जगह काफ़ी जल्दी पहुँच सकती है. We also have trains, ships and many such equipments which help us to have a better control over each part of the country. लेकिन उस समय ऐसा नहीं था. उस समय हम इतने ज़्यादा टेक्नोलॉजिकली एडवांस नहीं थे, इसलिए मुग़ल एम्परर्स ने सोचा कि एम्पायर को डिफरेंट सूबास में डिवाइड कर दिया जाए और हर सूबे को एडमिनिस्टर करने के लिए एक सूबेदार अपॉइंट कर दिया जाए, जो कि एक मनसबदार भी होगा, यानी कि उसके पास मिलिट्री राइट्स भी होंगे, उसके पास एक आर्मी भी होगा, जिसके मदद से उस सूबे को वो एडमिनिस्टर करेगा और उसके सिक्योरिटी को इंश्योर करेगा और साथ ही साथ उस सूबे से रेवेन्यू कलेक्ट कर कर भी लाकर देगा. सो दिस वॉज ऑल अबाउट द सूबा सिस्टम एंड द सूबेदार. Thank you everyone for watching my video. Please make sure to subscribe my channel.